Welcome back to the podcast. Today, Alex and I are diving into a common dilemma for business owners. Should you hire one versatile employee to handle two related roles or bring on two specialists for each task? Alex, I think you've got a great example to kick us off.
Yeah, so Tyler, I was meeting with a friend and colleague today who has a membership-based teaching business. And we were talking about whether or not she should hire one person to do content development for her membership portal and then another person to do content marketing. So essentially both roles require script writing as it relates to their target audience, the development of content, generating ideas, etc. And they seem really related, but she was torn on whether or not she should hire one person to do both, split up the time, or get two people to do those individual jobs.
That's a really interesting example, Alex. It sounds like your friend is grappling with a pretty common challenge in growing businesses. On one hand, having one person handle both content development and content marketing could lead to a more cohesive strategy since it's the same person overseeing both aspects. But on the other hand, two specialists might bring a higher level of expertise and allow for more focused efforts in each area. What do you think are some key factors she should consider in making this decision?
I totally agree. One of the main concerns that I had, or one of the things that I focused on and shared my experience with, is that I find that people generally have an easier time focusing on one mission at a time, one purpose, one vision for where they're going. So my philosophy is hire one person to do one thing, allow them to do it really well, especially if it's a creative kind of process-driven role. So there's one aspect, right? It's just like you're going to get more focus out of one person for each role. That's my argument. The second one is risk mitigation. Oftentimes, it doesn't work out. Like the best hiring teams in the world are the best hiring teams in the world because they're getting it right 55% of the time, not 100% of the time. If success means beating the coin flip by a little bit, then that means there's risk involved in any hire. So the way that I mitigate risk when it comes to hiring folks is, hey, let's split it up. And if it works out with one person, great. If it doesn't work out with the other person, then we can try again. But if I hired one person to do two jobs, not only do I now have a more complex role that I'm recruiting for, but I also have a higher stakes issue when it comes to turnover.
Absolutely, Alex. You're highlighting two really crucial points here. First, the focus and depth of expertise that can come from having one person dedicated to a single role. It's much easier for someone to excel when their responsibilities are clear and concentrated. And second, the risk mitigation aspect is huge. By hiring two separate individuals, you're spreading the risk. If one hire doesn't work out, it only affects half of the workload rather than the entire scope of both roles. So for business owners facing this dilemma, it seems like it comes down to balancing the potential for a more streamlined, unified approach with one person versus the benefits of focused expertise and reduced risk with two specialists. Would you say those are the main takeaways from your experience and your friend's situation?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of other considerations. For example, the more complex of a role that you create, the more difficult it is to find people to execute. Another consideration is the more complex the role, likely the higher the compensation is going to be. And another aspect to it as well is just the amount of flexibility that you can offer. In one case, you're offering a part-time or a gig opportunity, which works out for a lot of folks. Or if you're going full-time, then that's going to work for a different candidate pool. So anyway, there's a lot of considerations to this. But yeah, I think top two to my mind is really about setting people up for success by allowing them to focus. And then on the other hand, it's mitigating risk should it not work out.
Absolutely, Alex. Those additional considerations are really important too. A more complex role can indeed be harder to fill and might require higher compensation. Plus, offering part-time or gig opportunities can attract a different talent pool, which can be an advantage depending on the market you're in. So it sounds like there's no one-size-fits-all answer, but weighing these factors can definitely guide business owners in making a more informed decision. Thanks for breaking that down. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this up?
No, I think that's a wrap. Thanks, Tyler.
All right, Alex, thanks for sharing your insights, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We hope this episode helps you navigate the hiring dilemma a bit better. Until next time.